Is it working? Hi, everyone. I'm waiting for Mr. Mikey Einziger to come here. Alexander, Joe Baker, Ricky. Hi. I'm doing pretty good, actually. Um, I don't. Hi, real Joe Lilac. I'm waiting on Mikey to get here. How's everybody doing? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Hi, Joe. Hola, Mexico. ¿Cómo estás, Mexico? Hi, Alexander Lopez, 75. Jamming with Ian. Oh, my hoops? So you'll never catch me dead without my hoops because I am una cubana. I'm a Latin lady, so I always have my hoops on. It's ridiculous. I know. Hi, Tammy. So what we're going to do with Mikey is we're going to do a quarantine quickie, and we're going to say hi, obviously, and then we're going to ask him 10 quick questions, some of them sent in by you guys. My antibody test results, negative. I never had it, which I guess is good. I was a little disappointed because I wanted to have the antibodies. Life is kind of boring. Mikey! Okay.
Hi, Nicole.
Mikey! Hi, Mikey.
How are you?
I think I'm doing good. I found like a groove and a rhythm in this whole pandemic. I realized pretty fairly early that I'm a structure kind of person. I need routine.
Yep. Well,
So
you got
once,
it. That's for sure.
yeah, so once I figured out a little bit of a routine, then things were a little more tolerable. How about you?
I love being at home with my family, with my little girls. Like, it's we're making the best out of a tough situation. It's obvious that this is a really stressful time on a lot of people. So not to in any way discount that. But I don't get to spend this much time at home usually. Right now, we would have been on the road. We would have been in Europe, I believe, and or close to being in Europe. And with little young 3-year-old daughters and a wife, it's like kind of a dream for me to be able to actually spend this time at home. So, the circumstances are less than ideal, but I'm definitely taking advantage of the opportunity to just spend a lot of time with my family.
And
So from that
Penelope and
perspective, it's good.
Tallulah. I'm sorry, and the
Yep.
girls love having daddy so much, huh?
Yeah, it's just the best. Like they they jump on me and wake me up in the morning, and they're just the best. Like having little kids is just nothing like it. It's amazing. So I just feel really, really lucky, and for that, but also it's also sort of bittersweet because of all the people suffering, and I've had some friends uh, you know get COVID and had luckily no one has in my family or friends has died as a result, but some close calls, and it's just a scary thing, and it's definitely like a strange set of circumstances that I've never seen in my lifetime. It's just indescribable.
I don't know anybody affected by the actual virus, but so many of my friends are taking a financial hit, and I know a lot of people that their mental health
Yeah.
is being it's a tough thing. It's challenging right now because
Yeah.
it comes like this depression and anxiety comes in waves with like
Yeah.
a little peephole of hope. So the people that
Yeah.
are mentally strong are struggling.
Yeah, that's another element to this whole thing is um the mental health aspect of having to stay home and being isolated, and so the results of social distancing are complicated. And there's some people who naturally like to be by themselves, and then there are other people who like really need to be around people, and you really need companionship. And so this is a really difficult time for a lot of people. And you know, I just hope that we can get through all this in one piece, you know, and it's just crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world, you know, a lot of like weird conspiracy theories and weird politics and all kinds of junk that like, it's just sad. It's a sad, right? It's a tough time right now.
It's a
You
tough
know,
time.
our country's having a tough time right now. And you know, hope that we can move past it and that we can really recover from this. I know we can, but it's just maybe that's just my positive bias. I'm an inherently positive person.
So am I, but I mean, if we think about our lives on the other side of struggle, there's always a gold mine. So we just have to get to the other side of the struggle.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're going to do something called the quarantine quickie, and it's just 10 questions. Some of them were sent in to me, and they have a lot to do with Incubus, and some of them have to do with life, and you can answer as
Great.
short or as long as you want. The first one, so you're a guitarist, innovator, inventor, entrepreneur, Harvard grad, orchestral mastermind, father, husband, and now tiny food furniture maker. What is the most satisfying role you've ever had?
I mean, being a father is there's nothing like that. That's like being a father and a husband is like there's just nothing better than that. So that's kind of like been a life goal of mine, and I feel really lucky and blessed to be able to fulfill that goal. And then, you know, sort of second on that list, I guess I would say, is inventing things. And being an inventor is like
So cool.
one of life's greatest pleasures. It really is, to like find some new way of doing something or solve some problem or write a song. Like musicians are inventors, you know. It's like
Yeah.
we invent music that we play and music that's, you know, listened to by people. And so that's part of it. And invention is like it's like the key to happiness for me. Innovation and inventions is like really what drives me on a daily basis. So yeah, I love that. It's just
What?
so much fun.
This is not a question that's on here, but really quick, when did you find out that you were inventive? Were you young when you put like something together or whip something up?
Yeah, I've been building stuff since I was a little kid, you know, just whether it was with like, you know, stuff I could find around my house and whatever tools I could sort of steal out of my dad's, like, you know, toolbox when I was a kid, to starting to write music, and make recordings when I was in, you know, middle school, high school, with the band. We started the band when we were in 10th grade. We were 15 years old, and I started working at recording studios at that time. And that was really like a formative time for me. And, you know, when you don't know how to do something, you have to sort of invent ways to solve problems. And I didn't really I had some mentorship and some really important mentorship, actually, like really important, but in a lot of ways too, I had to like figure a lot out on my own. And so when you're in a situation like that, you just have to innovate, and that's how you solve your problems, is by innovation. And so I think figured that out about myself in high school, like during that period of time. That was like when I really figured out like that was what really like kind of like
Drove you?
yeah, I really enjoy that. Like I'm driven by curiosity, like 100% driven by curiosity. And like once I become curious about something, I kind of have to like, people have to make me stop doing it, because I can't, like, it's like an obsession that I can't put down. And I love it though. It's like it's to me, that's like that's what it is to be young. To me, that's what it is to be a kid. You could be like 100 years old, and you could be a physicist. You could be on the brink of like solving a problem, like an important or unimportant, like whatever it is, as long as you feel curious about it. You know, I can only imagine what it felt like for, you know, like an Albert Einstein to figure out relativity, you know, like, or to figure out quantum mechanics, which is like the weirdest thing in the world. Like stuff like that, that just is mind blowing. And I, you know, I can't say that I've ever rubbed up against anything like that, but it's really fun to get into this sort of invention sandbox and start playing with stuff. It's like, it's the best.
Well, it's a very cool quality that you had, because curiosity is like a hunger. And I think there's a quote that says, invention is the mother of necessity. So there are people
Absolutely.
out there Yeah, there are people
Absolutely.
out there that are getting that done. Okay, number two. This one I think you kind of already answered, but life and humanity. Are you fearful or hopeful?
Oh, definitely hopeful, but with the hopefulness comes a sort of a dash of fearfulness. I think being afraid is a very vital part of life experience. Like you have to be afraid of some things, and I guess the whole key is to turn that fear in into something that helps you, into something that like you can use to your advantage. That's the key. Or if you let fear be the thing that guides everything you do, then you'll never do stuff. Like you'll be too afraid, you'll think you're going to fail all the time. But yeah, like I like to think I have a good balance of those things in
Okay,
my life.
balance is important. Favorite collaboration? You've done so many. I'm mostly fascinated by Hans Zimmer. Like I've been fascinated by that man my whole life. But you've done so many with so many different types of creative characters. So favorite collaboration, or one that
Um,
stands out. So you don't have to pick a favorite.
no, I mean, like Incubus is kind of like at the top of my list, even though that's like, kind of the main thing that I've been doing for the last like almost 30 years. But it's like the further away I get from it, I mean, the further we go into our career, and the further that away that we get from sort of the more formative years of music making, where we put out, Science and Make Yourself and Morning View and Crow. Like that was a really productive period of time for us as musicians, and it felt really natural while it was happening. And I kind of like look back on it now, and I kind of can't believe it, like what we did. It's rare to really connect with the world that way. So that's one of them. The work I did with Avicii was really it had a huge impression on me. He had a huge impression on me. It was something that was really unexpected. And I would also say that one of my all-time favorite musical experiences ever was producing the album Night Timing, Coconut Records, Night Timing by Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
That album was like one of the most fun projects I've ever done. Like that whole album was just me and Jason. Like he was at my house. We were really good friends, and he came over one night, and he was like going through a breakup, and he was real sad, and he wanted to make some music. And so we just started like kind of playing around, and we didn't stop for like 3 weeks. We just canceled everything that we were doing at the time, both of us, and we just made that album together. And it was like so much fun, and like it's such a great album. Like if anyone out there has never heard Night Timing by Coconut Records, you should go listen to it, because it's like one of my favorite pieces of music that I've ever been involved with. I played a lot of the instruments. Jason played like pretty much everything, and then like I just like
Kirsten and Zoe Deschanel, Kirsten Dunst and Zoe Deschanel, for those of you that don't know, are featured on it too.
yep, Zoe's on it, Kirsten, Brandon Boyd's whistling on one of the songs.
Fun
Ben,
fact.
Ben, our bass player, Ben Kenny, he played bass on the song Night Timing. It was just like the most natural fun. It's like everything. That album represents everything that's fun about making music to me. And it's hard to believe it was like 2007, I think, was when we made that album. But I can always look back on that album and I'm just so happy that we did it. And I went to Harvard the next year. In 2008 was when I went to Harvard. And the funny thing was that when I got there, everyone was playing that album like in their dorm rooms.
That's so
Like when I
cool.
got there, like I would hear it all over the place, and people would like be singing those songs. And it was just so funny that like that album actually, like people got that album. It was really funny. So anyway, yeah, Skrillex. I have to mention Skrillex. Like he's just like one of my favorite people in the whole world. So talented. He's such a savant, and I love working with him. And we're always like planning on doing stuff. There's just only so many hours in the day.
Well, now we have a lot of time, so this might be
Yeah,
a good
well,
time
maybe
to
now.
call him up.
I talk to him all the time. I just talked to him like a couple days ago. So like, we talk all the time.
Okay, last great moment you had on tour. So the last time you remember standing on stage where like all of time stood still.
I mean, it's
those moments, right?
It sounds cliche, but like
All of
It's
them?
pretty much every time we play, you know, like I said, the further I get into this career thing, the more I can't believe what we've accomplished and the connection that we've made to an audience. It's like you can't underestimate how rare it actually is to, like, yeah, there are a lot of bands out there, and yeah, there are a lot of great songs and a lot of great artists, but like we have our own place in
Yeah.
amongst that sort of, you know, like I mean, it's such a strange feeling to have grown up listening to like all this music that I love so much, and then like ended up like going on tour with and like becoming friends with all these people, you know, like we became we became peer group with like our favorite bands. Like it's the weirdest thing in the world. So I don't know, I still trip out on that all the time.
You've also remained, every single last one of you have remained very humble, and that's a really rare thing, considering I know, because I'm around this all the time, and I don't know what it is that keeps you grounded, each and every one of you. It might be each other, but don't lose that.
Well, I think it's because our music is just based on our friendships with each other, and it's just based on our curiosity. Like it's the most innocent thing that there can be. Like so like when we get up on stage to play shows and when we write our songs, like we're not like putting on a costume. Like we're going on stage wearing like the clothes we were wearing that day. Like it's just natural for us, and so we're just being who we are. We're being who we feel comfortable being, and so it's a natural extension of our personalities. And I think that's honestly like what has really kept it together for
What
that
works?
long. It's just that that's what it is, and we're not trying to fake anything, you know.
No, I think authenticity works. It really does, and you guys are point in case. What do you miss most about the road?
um you know, just being around people. like you know, this is a unique time where like, you know, we're all home, right? We're all like seeking to like just make connection, you know, outside of our, you know, luckily I have like this amazing beautiful family, you know, so I feel so privileged and lucky for that, but not everybody has that, you know. And I do miss just traveling and being with, you know, the guys in the band and playing,
The
you know,
crew.
playing our music that people love. Like I love it too, so it's like it's a fun thing for us to do. You know, I certainly miss all that.
Okay, so do I, by the way. So do I. Strangest habit that you have or that you formed recently?
um should probably ask my wife that question. I not too many people know about this, but I'm the co-founder of a biotechnology company,
Mm.
and there's a certain type of of data that we've been working with called Affymetrix data. And Affymetrix data is gene expression data. Like basically, um, we're doing these studies that analyze your skin, and in your skin there are, you know, more or less, let's call it around 20,000 different genes in your skin, and each gene in your skin, when you run them through this Affymetrix, you know, program, it will tell you how, you know, it's like an up or down switch that each one of these genes has. And when you analyze the patterns that are being, you know, that are being seen in these samples, you can learn how different chemicals and drugs and things like that affect the body, how they affect the skin. And I've become so obsessed with it that like I'll work on it. I'll sit there running like different analysis, um, you know, of these different samples. I'll be doing it for like 14, 16, 18 hours of the day. Like I'm so obsessed with it. Like I can't put it down, and it's so fascinating. You just like learn the craziest things, and it's amazing. Like, you know, I'm
I love
40.
your endless
I'll be
curiosity and
40.
fascination.
I'll be 44 years old this year, and it's like I'm still doing things that I've like like I didn't know anything about that, you know, a year ago. So here we are.
When I hear you talking, though, you have the enthusiasm of like a teenager. Like your heart, like you're going to be 44. That's a number, but I can see it in your face when you talk about curiosity, when you talk about the company. It's it's very freaking awesome. Okay, you've
Yep.
got two more. What one thing have you learned about yourself in quarantine or during this strange time that you might have not known about yourself before? Like
Um,
I learned that I need structure. Very much
yeah.
so.
I'm really good at cooking pad thai.
Ooh, that's a good skill that your wife is probably thankful for that you can cook.
Yeah, I've never cooked pad thai before. I love Thai food. I like the funny thing is like I can't really stand like that spicy food. Like my wife will just eat the spiciest thing you can, and a lot of my friends too. Like will eat the spiciest thing you can possibly eat, and like I'm like dying. But I've sort of grown this love now for like really spicy pad thai, and I'm good at cooking it. Like it's something I'm like, yeah. Somebody writes, we need the recipe. I'll post the recipe.
Why haven't you talked about your penchant for tiny food furniture making that you've been doing lately that I'm fascinated by? What is that hobby
Yeah,
of
I
yours?
mean, there was like a I don't even remember how it like came up, how I like learned about it, but there was just like I think it might have been something that like popped up in my like interests or whatever. Like
Like the seed,
so I
yeah.
yeah, like so I start discover or whatever, and I was like looking, I was like, what is that? And it was like this small chair, and I thought it was really funny. And I just love I don't know, there was something that made me curious about it. So I started like looking, and it was like a hashtag thing, and I was just like, oh, I was like looking at bananas and pretzels and stuff, and I was like, hey, you could totally make chairs out of those. So I just thought it was funny, and how you could make tiny chairs out of food.
Yeah,
I always ate the food. No
I got a
food was
kick out of that.
wasted.
Wait, what? No food was
No
wasted?
food was wasted. I ate all of it.
Okay, good to know. Now, the last one, I'm saving the best for last because I think that you just put out the most beautiful body of work with Trust Fall Side B from beginning to end, Mikey. Like, I cried. On Without Me is probably one of the more powerful songs I've heard in a very long time. And when I got it, I listened to it like 17 times in a row. And I was texting people and my friends that were listening, and we were like, how is this song so beautiful? What the hell, Incubus? What is your favorite song on Trust Fall B, and how do you, in the grand scope of all of your work, how do you feel about this EP?
Um, I don't know. It's like it's
Fucking
so
good.
weird. It's like we've been making music for so long now. Like I don't really know how to like gauge it. Um,
How does it make you
but
feel? How's that? How does it make you feel? Like, do you get tingly? Do you get like, what's the emotion that you attach to whenever anybody says Trust Fall Side B?
I
Prize.
think I think of Paper Cuts. That
That's a
song
good one.
Paper Cuts.
Oh yeah, I know. I know.
Um, because it's just like one of those things where like it was such a raw kind of like unanticipated um charming sort of like little humble song that I love stuff like that. Like one of my favorite Incubus songs that we ever recorded was Monuments and Melodies. And it was like we didn't put it on the album. I think we recorded it during when we were recording Crow, but like we put it on like a Japanese version of it or something like that. I don't know. I just those things are fun. Like,
Mikey, it's good. It's so good. I pointed something out before I end this. I pointed something out to Brandon that I pointed out to you before in an interview, but I'm going to do it again. There's so many times that I see people that post their happiest pictures on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and they always caption it with, and in this moment, I am happy. And that's like basically something that we all steal from a song that you guys wrote. And you did that. And every time I think, like, I've been in Argentina, I've been in Paris, and in my head, all I can hear is, and in this moment, I am happy. And you gave that to us. And I think that's so awesome and dope. And thank you, I guess, on behalf of everybody.
it's our privilege to be able to have those types of connections with people that connect with the music that way. Like I keep saying it, like the older I get and the longer that I've been doing this, the longer we've been doing this as a band, like the more rare I realize it is and how special that actually is. So I'm very, very thankful, feel very humbled by that.
Well, I'm very grateful for my relationship with you guys and the music and all of the moments. And one of my favorite parts of last year was standing on stage with the Mixed Halo at the Greek Theater, watching you guys do Make Yourself, and
Yep.
that was a really good time. And I can't wait till we do that again. And we will, maybe differently,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
we'll be back.
Well, it's a really exciting
Last,
time for Mixed Halo right now, actually. Like,
yeah,
because all of these, all the major concert promoters they're all trying to figure out how to do these sort of socially distanced concerts and drive-in type events and things like that. And Mix Halo's technology is perfectly suited for that. And so we kind of just got hit by like a tidal wave of opportunities right now that we're
wow,
working.
that's great, Mikey.
Yeah, that we're working through. So the company is like is a really exciting state right now, and we're very hopeful that we're going to be able to help build sort of like the next version of whatever concerts are, whatever live events are. You know, it's not just going to go back to the way that it used to be. That's obvious. It's not going to, not right away.
Not right away.
So there's going to be a time where we're going to have to like try some different things, and but Mix Halo is going to be part of that, and it's really exciting.
I have to ask because so many people, if I don't ask, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. But is there a chance for like an Incubus, like a band live stream, or like an acoustic Zoom? Or I know that your brain is endlessly curious and innovating all the time. So have you begun to think about how you can give us the people what we want?
Yeah, we're kind of waiting to see how this is all going to shake out. We haven't made any like decisions about like our summer plans or anything yet, because there's a lot of it that's like out of our control too. So we're trying to just kind of like wait a little bit and see what's going to happen. We have a lot of plans though, you know. We have a lot of things coming up, you know. The 20th anniversary of Morning View is next year, so like we're planning a lot of stuff like with respect to that, and not just live music. Like we're planning some, you know, like we're putting together some really special stuff with respect to that. So that's something that we're going to be working on a lot, and we're already working on it now over the next year. And so there's plenty of stuff for our fans to look forward to. We're like we're ramping up right now.
Cool.
And yeah, next year is going to be a really exciting year, no matter what. Like,
no matter what.
Regardless if it's a year where we're touring, or if it's a year where everyone's still sort of waiting at home, or we can't have concerts the way normal. Whatever the situation is, we will figure out some way to connect to our fans in a meaningful way. Absolutely.
And on that note, I ask that you give Penelope and Tallulah and Anne and everybody that you love all my best, and we're going to keep in touch. I can't thank you enough for this, and you know that I'm your biggest fan, so I will always be in your.
Well, we love you too, Nicole. Such a supporter of us.
You got me?
And we
I love you so much.
We love you guys, and you specifically, not you guys, you. We love you. And we're thankful for your support and everything that you do for us. So thank you, and more to come.
Okay. Bye, Mikey. I love you, man.
Bye. Love you too.